Thursday night, LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers got bounced from the playoffs by the Phoenix Suns. And I don't know how many of you were watching that game because, of course, NBA ratings are in the tank, so there's not a whole lot of people watching. But if you did, you know that LeBron James walked off the court without shaking hands.
Their home court in the first round. And now they'll take on the Denver Nuggets in round 2, and that should be a beauty.
No, it doesn't get much easier at all, but give credit to the Suns, as you said, 11 years ago.
Which is just an absolute clown move. It's disrespectful to your opponents. It's really disrespectful to the sport itself. It's not what the fans want to see. I believe it was Herb Brooks. LeBron James could learn a lot from Herb Brooks. Herb Brooks, the famous coach of the 1980 Miracle on Ice team, said, win, lose, or draw, you're going to play like champions. You got to hold yourself to a certain standard here. And it's just the latest example of LeBron James. It's all about him. It's the me show, right? It's the LeBron James show. If he doesn't get his way, then he's going to pout. He's going to bitch and moan. It just never, ever ends with him. It's LeBron James versus, I guess, the entire world. It's frankly pitiful. It's like I said, it's shameful. I'm at a loss for words. If I pulled a stunt like that playing high school basketball, and granted, I wasn't any good. So the only time I got to play on my high school basketball team was at the end of games. The human victory cigar, if you will, the old Darko Milicic style roll. I only got to go in if we were up by 30 points, right? Now, we were never down by 30 points because we didn't fucking suck like the Lakers apparently do. Who's been worse for sports over the past few years? Is it LeBron James or Colin Kaepernick? More than 60% voted that LeBron James is worse, and that is the correct answer. LeBron James is hands down worse for sports, and I'll tell you why. Colin Kaepernick, for the most part, is highly irrelevant at this point. No one listens to him. He has no influence. He has no power. He's not in the NFL for years. There's nothing he can say or do that really impacts anything, right? He has a social media platform, but he's not taken serious by the majority of America, and he's not dominating his field, right? In fact, he washed out of the NFL. LeBron James is a bigger problem because LeBron James is not just a great NBA player. He is the face of the NBA and has been coming up nearly on 20 years. You know, he's almost been in the league for 20 years. He's been the face of it pretty much that entire time. And yet he goes out there, he doxes a police officer for saving a young woman's life. He refuses to condemn China.
I don't want to get into a feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke. Yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
It's just one dumb thing after another. And when you are the best player in the league and you have that platform behind you and you got 4 NBA rings and you're still dominating and you're in the news every day and everything you do is newsworthy, you're the bigger problem.